manx.co.im. Stocks and offers may vary between locations.
Manx Radio Weather with Manx Glass and Glazing.
Sunset will be along at 6:35 today. It'll be dry with some brightness this evening and some clear skies overnight. There'll still be light to moderate north or northwest winds, and the minimum temperatures will be close to zero for most places, leading to the risk of a slight frost. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 6:14. It'll be a dry and bright morning tomorrow before cloud moves in during the afternoon, and bringing the small risk of some patchy rain in the late afternoon or early evening for a time. Strong southwest winds will develop later in the day. The top temperature will be 10 degrees Celsius. And the outlook is for it to be unsettled on Tuesday, with outbreaks of rain becoming more persistent, then clearing to scattered showers later in the day or overnight. The strong southwest wind will be veering to be from the northwest later. The highest temperature will again be 10 degrees Celsius.
Manx Glass and Glazing are proud to be celebrating 40 years serving the Isle of Man's glazing needs. Visit the showroom on the Snugborough Trading Estate.
Gilg J as Gilg Claare.
Sure that Claare Gael is Bavalia Mosaltica. My name is Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert de Carslach.
Have you ever had tell of old Bobby Bob?
And in this bilingual programme, Claare Gael, some parts of it are in the English language, as the Custa Arn and Gisa Gilg, and there are some parts of it in the Manx Gaelic, Chinyan Amera, the mother tongue of Elin Vanning, the Isle of Man. As Banachtat Rish. In 1826, the 21st of March fell on a Tuesday, and that's the day to which an article in the Manx Advertiser refers, and an event which took place on that day in Douglas, which attracted considerable attention. Ta kellach eilen en oile rein gejindesach, terwijl gutenegge je triacht vain gauw se groog jesjegge, paie de vregen djurge vain gresi se groog jeregge, as me girte wannelte klaag woelien beginteg feed denia muljerach. The 22nd of March is St. Darerca's Day. She was the sister of St. Patrick and the mother of many saints, and her second husband was Conus, King of Brittany. All of which has nothing whatsoever to do with Bishki Brisk and Ruby Bisco Taylor's song Badoodadum, Tammy Force Bio, Tashu Geistjach, Rish Radio Vanning, Stashun and Ashun, Viscol Erscalia Mach, Vaidulish, Ellen Vanning.
Badoodadum, 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 badoodadum. Stop by Jin a dodging around me. Stop by Sayam the Chim the Chim. bell me reach the lead. Stop, just find me sheesh by bell me addict and lead.
At the end of January, Bisky Brish released a double album, Treading Water, Brebbel Ustje, of 12 of Ruby Bisco's Taylor's songs, with a version of each of them in Manx and a version in English, and that was Badoo the Dum, Tammy Force Bio. The article in the Manx Advertiser says that on Tuesday last, the inhabitants of this town, that's Douglas of course, were presented with a treat in the exhibition of Mr. Manby's newly suggested mode of communicating with a vessel in distress from the land, by means of firing a ball conveying a rope to the vessel, for the purpose of aiding the crew and passengers to escape shipwreck. Now, although it says that this was newly suggested, the basics of it had been used for some time, following unsuccessful attempts first of all to do it from the early 1790s. The idea was to fire a line out to a vessel in trouble, by which a heavier hawser could be hauled out, and that could be used either to help a rescue boat make its way out to the stricken vessel, or it could be used for a breeches buoy to be used to get the people ashore. George William Manby was a former artilleryman, and he became a captain in the Cambridgeshire militia, and he'd seen a naval vessel go aground in Great Yarmouth in 1807, and this led him to rethink the problem, and in fact he came up with a practical solution that was used from early 1808 onwards. Ta ren a Gael en seo saige gemaakt de welle ons denjach, a gilje go jurgus voelers go bene sneachte, varugich de ben va gemanre de duri bes, as vish unlockich voor bilje almen segera. Ten jit de wei poestrich ben elje, as ten nienoch nish, ach ten lias boer cor dui den gilje. Leider out die boele vaie gion, lorish poltel dunt vagel kistje. Ach lesh budde lau ren I kion rishawanel. As huggy na hai I stal lesh oel salawega. Tren a velle ko fregert weed en sjurege margeid, tret I brajacht son en oel, ten voir ginsten nien de brajacht je rish, as manabel freger vergedden, de chordeis snip berg lish. Was jen morte, as lesh nien vach, den ish ter woelu je kion of rere. Ach, ten voir genu brotje in rilje, as tret en erege chit de valje te gi ulju brot. Ten nien chumsigen a krauwen ons budde lau, as die korred senair phone vilje almond. Now, I don't know if competitive bell ringing still takes place, but this is a song about the ringers from Egloshail, sung by Yoel Porth.
Come on, you ringers, good and break come listen to my tale. I'll tell you of 5 ringers brave that lived in Eglosell. They bear the sway in any array where'er they chance to go. Good music on melodious bells is their delight to show. The foreman gives a signal, he steps along with toe. He casts his eye about them all and gives a sign to go. Away they go with courage full, the hearty to revive. To hear them swinging music, bring 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The squad in the court waiting first, that rings the treble bell. The second is your Ellery, and none may him excel. The third is Baller Carpenter, the 4 is Thomas Cleve. Good fellow is the tenor man that brings it round so brave. They went on to Lanlivery, they brought away the prize. And then they went to Santuni, and there they did likewise. The Stratton men, St. Marvin men, St. Issy and St. Q. The 5 lads of Eglosell can all the rest outdo. Now to conclude my merry task, the sovereign's health we join. Send every man our past the flask and drink his health in wine. And here's to Craddock Ellery, and here's to Thomas Cleve, to Pollard and the tenor man that rings it round so brave.
Joel Porth, and although he put the title in Cornish, Gwaria Chloch Egloshail, for that song about the Egloshail Ringers, he sang it in English. And the church at Egloshail is dedicated to St. Petroc. Egloshail is on the River Camel. But the singer, Joel Porth, there is from further north in Saltash. Ren en bilje almond Claare as va ails an air, as macha shen henke kellach elen, hai gus tire gau air, gus tire gracie, gus a willian, as gawi in a ren. As shen on a ren ve Gael, she ma voir en misha varu, she ma air gimis de jaru. She ma huur margade rem ma chrawen a gedden, vad courage ek ons budde lau, as esch vad courage nin lai ma gedden, von vilja almond brau. Kai wit ma renish, chosela a kellach ta mish. Tre renne gau airs en gracious, fair jane a deni muljerach braich jay de goiler en rish, tan kellach gobble, manabel guten courage day, as shen en ach teang edden en driach der, a pyre de vreg en jurge, as a chlach ulien. Look de gedden a chlach ulien, renne goilen a ren eg a rish, as treve a chorkion te scalia mach en na skien en egge, as leschen driach der se grog jesjes na bregen se grog jeregge, as me geert de wannel a chlach ulien, jetteleer soel, gus tai en ere egge. The Manx Advertiser refers to Mr. Manby, and I must say my first thought seeing the title Captain Manby in relation to rescuing people from stricken vessels was that he must be a navy captain, but no, it was his rank in the militia, and his background had been as an artilleryman. However, having seen a vessel in distress off Yarmouth in February of 1807, he went on to use what became known as the Manby mortar, so he put his artillery expertise to good use, and he used the Manby mortar, or the Manby apparatus, successfully to fire a line out to another vessel that was in trouble off Great Yarmouth, in fact a year later, in February of 1808. The fact that the Manx Advertiser refers to something newly suggested being tried out on Douglas Shore is perhaps because of a refinement of the process to use a ball to hold the line in to fire that out of the cannon rather than trying to fire something attached to the line itself. But by 1826 the Manby mortar had been in use for 18 years already. And for this experiment along the shore at Douglas, at Sir William Hilary's direction, a guard of soldiers was placed along the sand to prevent accidents to passengers. I think that should have been passers-by. Irish reel, and there we heard the fiddle playing of Briege Harper, with her former fiddle pupil, Ryan Malloy, accompanying her there on piano. Ryan Malloy, who's gone on to be an academic teaching music at Maynooth. As nish, sure cuse the Haishinen.
Real banks don't rush you, telling you to act immediately because there's a problem. Scammers do. Real banks never ask for your PIN, your full login details, or your one-time passcodes. Scammers do. Real banks don't tell you to install software so they can check your account. Scammers do. Real banks will never tell you to move your money to keep it safe. Scammers do. If something about a communication from your bank doesn't feel real, reach out to them using the number on the back of your card. After all, real banks don't mind you double-checking. Scammers do. A message brought to you by Isle of Man Bankers Association, Financial Crime Partnership, the Isle of Man Constabulary and the Cyber Security Centre for the Isle of Man. Visit csc.gov.im.
For the doze you deserve, it's Big Bed Month at Lifestyle Furniture. Get more space for your snooze with a king-size bed for the price of a double. Includes luxury brands Harrison Spinks, Enchanted House, K-Med and more. Plus, we'll give you a free pair of pillows and mattress protector with every purchase. Dream bigger with Big Bed Month at Lifestyle Furniture. Visit us at Snugborough Trading Estate, Union Mills. Open 7 days a week. Terms and conditions apply.
Stock arriving weekly at Ramsey Garden Centre. Discover potted spring bulbs, summer bulbs, seed potatoes, onion and garlic sets, wildflower seeds, sweet pea, microgreens, plantable biodegradable pots and propagation essentials. Grow smarter, greener, season after season with Ramsey Garden Centre.
Save 17% on the Loganair tartan sale with promo code SALE17. Book now at loganair.co.uk. T/Cs and exclusions apply, subject to availability.
Is your shed roof in need of replacing and you don't want to pay a contractor? The solution is DIY roof-in-a-box kits with full instructions and warranty from Rubber Roof Shop. For your roof-in-a-box, call 49667.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Stasiwn Asiwn Shen de Vier Radio Vannin. As she Claare na Gael was verklaas en Cartnish, Mermpien, Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Did the ever hear tell of old Bobby Bob?
Te Kedut Clash en de Cledden Claare Shorish, Rishacht en Lugjigul Scalia Mach, Glorish Golgus in de Dagger Radio Vannin, as Brewer Kraman Eish Rish, as the Enema Claare again and Shen. Te podcast Jane Claare again nasty again in de Radio Vanning Nies, na trud Kierder en Podcast Delia, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, na Alexa. And also, at Sir William Hillary's direction, says the Manx advertiser, a 24-pounder mortar drawn by artillerymen with the requisite apparatus of ball, rope, powder, etc. So that was drawn onto the beach. The momentum of powder was gradually tried by 4 different quantities, from 5 to 9 ounces, when the result was found to be that with the force of 9 ounces of powder, a ball of 24 pounds weight would convey the rope to the distance of half a mile. The process of the experiment is, first, the enveloping of the ball with a wrapping of green hide, and then affixing the end of the cord to an iron ring inserted in the ball, and fired. In one of the experiments, considerable alarm was raised by a want of due caution in the preparation. In consequence of the loosening of the envelope, the ball winged its unfettered way to a greater distance than had been calculated on, and fell within a few yards of a boy who was occupied in digging bait upon the sand.
Gibbons, of course, you'll understand,
as T. Brown later was to put it. Ons a tai van gennacht en ginnel as edrum se chriege, acht en voer gennacht en de wei aglet jas, maar de berg dorin aglach chietjes jach on, as van a fieglenek snagerie, as we eil se chushlinenek, as ti repe fawsri te goonek de gedden put de her. As sul you en treive a marget na sayon suljen, as ish, shilje, jair, huish de velad line a chlerek. Eis henk a kellach de wei na haier a vilje almond, as gauw en. She me voer en misje varu. as ren na bhair cúdacha na clíiseanach, as renny cúdacha na súlianach, as ha doddy fagan na cláisin. Na jaishe na zolju va fire jig dorin aglach ons na clíiseanach, as ons na súlianach va kræskell as vat láste mar de bech tendrelon. Shema djimish the jaru. O, waar doortenair, ta kellach eilen goile rein gebrauw, as ten green sal sheen, as de chuljurid sorrel gemillische cinnamon. Now from Aberystwyth, this is the trio Three-Legged Mare, with a traditional song in Welsh, Titrum Tatrum, Gwen Lliw'r Wyn, Gwen the colour of a lamb. Longing for Gwen of Pentraeth, whilst the singer is working sometimes from the land, sometimes in London, sometimes in Chester. It was performed there by the Aberystwyth trio Three-Legged Mare. Haie kellach leis na reinege. She me huur margade. Ren margade follach an edinec an ochtdek, as renny co. As doort an Sein daugel maag de een a chellach. O, na gin gol door te wen jesje, tammy gennacht an mor de beche tai aisle. Ach, haie dunje maag, as je geer an chellach. Ren ma grauwen na gedden, wat currit ek ons buddel lauw, as eich wat currit an limer gedden, fo'n wilje almond brauw. Kai wit, ma renish, chosela a kellach tamish. Sen ren a kellach liga tujum a driach mwanel an era, as ve fregertach de girach. Mar so hai stai as dwrt e. Gich creich o elen as draiach as tankellach a chordaw. Esh van ben hieseg a cho agle jas, de renny tujum as is shint mach lair, as henk a coifji. Esh gau a kellach toiach drish Gael ren. Shem a voir and mish a varu. And so the article tells us. The main experiment was, however, satisfactorily made, and the scheme ascertained to be comparatively safe, when it's considered how little persons in imminent danger of shipwreck would wreck the chance of receiving a bullet, and when it's calculated that the sacrifice of 1 or 2 lives might be the saving of 100. A better way, and which must be acknowledged as a far superior expedient, would be a ball so prepared as to operate on the rigging by fastening with iron claws, etc. This latter mode, we understand, has been proposed for adoption, but time alone can mature and approve the laudable design. A vast concourse of people witnessed the trial. Many of the first characters in the country for respectability were there, among whom we recognised the Lord Bishop. Well, the bishop at the time was George Murray, who'd made himself so unpopular not many months previously with his tithe on potatoes and turnips. He evidently felt safe in urban Douglas. James Macpherson had a short life, during which he was known as a talented swordsman and a fiddle player. He was born about 1675 in Scotland, but became the leader of a gang of robbers, and he was hanged in 1700. Well, this is a version of the well-known Macpherson's Rant. Ah, that's what we're supposed to have had before. Never mind, wrong order.
Farewell, you dark and lonely hills, far away beneath the sky. Macpherson's time will ne'er be lang in yonder gallows tree. Say wantonly, say dantonly, say rantonly gaily. Oh, he played a tune and he danced in a round and a blow the gallows tree. It was by a woman's treacherous hands that I was condemned to die. And upon a ledge on a window she stood, and a blanket she threw over me. Say wantonly, say dantonly, say rantonly gaily. Oh, he played a tune and he danced in a round and along the gallows tree. Well, some he come to see me die, and some to buy my fiddle. But before that I depart with her, I'll break her through the middle. Say wantonly, say dantonly, say rantonly gaily. Oh, I played a tune and he danced in a round and a blow the gallows tree. Well, he took his fiddle into both of his hands and he broke it over a stone, singing, "Nay, other will play on thee when I am dead and gone." Say wantonly, say dantonly, say rantonly gaily. Oh, I played a tune and he danced in a round and a blow the gallows
ballad Macpherson's Rant, sung by Sam Shackleton, or Sawley Shackleton, originally from Stirling, but his family moved all over Scotland. He's now based in Edinburgh. Macpherson's Rant is one of the old songs that Robert Burns made a version of as Macpherson's Farewell. Now, this short piece from the Manx Advertiser from March 1826 concludes by saying that Sir William Hillary displayed much activity and address in the arrangement. The Navy, Royal and Commercial, owe much to Sir William's laudable exertion in behalf of suffering humanity, to which we sincerely wish every possible success. Having mentioned the present at this experiment of Bishop George Murray, the man who provoked violent reactions to his proposed tithe on potatoes and turnips in late 1825, the following piece in the newspaper is a letter which again is part of a long-running debate about the imposition of tithes. So it was still very much a hot subject in the island in 1826, with leaders of the popular resistance not long having been sent for transportation to penal colonies just a month before this experiment at which the bishop was present. However, he perhaps felt safe enough in the town of Douglas, though at that date it was still a small town, and what are now the suburbs of the city of Douglas were fields and farmland at that time. Oh, ren na bhóir asnacha, de rau mi tausen fai fó hollow, na beche orm clash ne. Shema jeemish de jaru. Esh van ven the lai mor de bechi maru. Shema huur margade. Oh, doort margade, nim gol mach nis, as vethen mach nien kellach corbeg dau. As me saw mach lie. As ren mach rauen a fethen a gedden, wat corrigec ons buddel lau. Esh ren I kjaus shees Gina bregen. As eich wat curritnin Limegeddon von Vilja Almond Brau, kai wit murenish, chosela kellach tamish. As doltajim van Margaret Bach gennachten de wei manner as begoil, as huggy moy na breg and jurgek, as renny downson as limmelesh tatnius. Och, nee, Dorty, Jenny me go trimshach rosh me jach me mach, as nish tamach richo edrum. She kellach core de wel a chor dau pair de breg en jurge. Befalte mere gobbe nies as Virgin gurish loddigan. Breton flute player Jan Cariou was accompanied by guitarist Alain Léon with music for a fairly sensational style of gavotte danced in the area of Porlet in central Brittany.
Hello, this is Andy Wint, and former Infrastructure Minister Michelle Haywood MHK's next on Man in Line. How does she see Port Erin's housing needs? What does she think of Port St Mary's towering Bay Queen? A huge wind farm on the horizon, traffic doing more than 20 through the villages, GP and NHS dentist appointments, the importance of community policing, and being on the receiving end of online abuse. Talk to Russian MHK Michelle Haywood on Man in Line tomorrow at midday on smart devices, on air, online, on Manx Radio.
Siodat stasiwn yn asiwn radio fanning y sé Claare na Gael vis verklaas in Cartnish, mer yn pin Robert gyda'n Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Ever heard tell of our Bobby Bob?
Door te ben. Eer me bis een sail chitkus jerre, sein thou gol maag de redden bekken de gaur. Kart maar henkie tjou moeije in dorres, crash, henke klaag er a gjonek, as we crowdjit sledden ray. Rennen as een nien rijmaag as honnik a jeeg, as lodden en de heil, iri soes. Ach treve engel sja, on shen van a haai a brer beg, as gauwe a neregge as margade er a lau, as wat vie vanre as woeiach, as hired stai, as hired schieseg a boerd, as gauwed a generok. As my so shen jerra and skiel enmesich a bilja almonds, a chaglam shoulder skiel and ferish grim, as nish gesana skiel shan sultant and enemana skiel. Kuurt de rauw va bodachon, as va moda firniach egge enmesich sultan. Va nish erjit de vecho shan, de rauwe a chol ulju na fieglen egge, as het doddy goil graim jay beg. Laad rauw van dunje na chiade weg doris a taiege, merische ben chiesje. In relation to this event, the trial of the Manby mortar, Manby apparatus on the shore at Douglas, I wondered what the other available newspaper of 1826, the Manx Rising Sun, had to say. From the report in that newspaper, it transpires that there had been a meeting of the Isle of Man District Association for the Preservation of Life from Shipwreck, held in the courthouse in Douglas. And this followed an initial meeting which had been held in Castle Rushen to set up the Isle of Man District Association. Sir William Hillary was the president, and this meeting in Douglas Courthouse appointed others of the great and the good to be vice presidents and committee members, and including the members of a Douglas Select Committee. After the meeting, says the Manx Rising Sun, the members retired to the sands for the purpose of trying the effect of a light 24-pound mortar, the invention of Captain Manby, to effect a communication with vessels supposed to be wrecked within its range. Now, in this version of a lullaby written by Annie Kissack for her daughter Kitty, it's Bill Corlett who leads the way, with harmonies by Phil Gaughan.
Vadi veg, lianu macri, jig macas an anyag la pogelani, shina maskin kona hastan voru, shenke fo durara jinu jinju. Vadi veg, shindau the lau, ben as briach tan nerolak dau, tan redgus the lavi filiau tretowski, shulam mared matochiri makri. Vadi veg, pimerak brau, nag jigan green sauce risha tevora yau, ni an fenoges as ni uroya, hasta kloi mishla hoi lishon agre. Vadi veg, sjakens the ljavi, saucher as bled as hig carla the tavi, Jaiji the Hullen Doliai she's the Kion. Gauji the Essence the Clunya Vegchon.
Annie Kissack's lullaby, Woody Beg, and it was performed there by Bill Corlett mainly, with Phil Gorn providing harmonies in the background there. The article in the Manx Rising Sun tells us, the day was fortunately very fine, and a numerous collection of the most respectable inhabitants were on the sands to witness the interesting experiments. The Lord Bishop with part of his family, and Sir William and Lady Hilary were among the gay assemblage. Several discharges were made to ascertain the quantities of powder which would be required for the various ranges intended. From 5 to 10 ounces were employed, so we get an extra ounce out of the Manx Rising Sun that we didn't get in the Manx Advertiser. From 5 to 10 ounces were employed, and the distances to which the shell conveyed the cord was from 250 to 500 yards. On the last trial, the cord breaking close to the shell, the distance was thereby doubled. From the nature of the experiments, there can be no doubt that it is safely and readily applicable to vessels stranded within its range. And in the case of Her Majesty's sloop Racehorse, which was wrecked off Langness Point, that was in December of 1822, in the case of HM sloop Racehorse, which was wrecked off Langness Point, it would probably have been the means of saving the lives which were lost by the swamping of the boat. We believe that another set of experiments will be tried shortly. Dúirt an duine rishe ben Heshe, Nim marw shan sultan len a berach, Chanel beg a vias on nish. Van ben Heshe egge, Gael chimmer jane vod a bach, as dregery. Teir hier weisach oren wish huildien blain, as hanachten meren go firnjach, de wel I toiltjen be as fast die son an chan egge. She banny me te jin de wel tickle la chus doorten dunje sheshe. Chanel fiegel be egge, as jinnach gaddy be cor Gael de a chor be. Maar so chanel me tickle or nai getten rarish. Houds de hier reisach de mai orin, tashin a chor de paltje de wie mai. Ren na mod a bach, when a lai shint mach for saljen a grenia, gene for de vai, klaasjen olju wat de grey. As wij fie trimshach, smuljen de beg en na lei en vers jerry egge. Jarni dus kunjen a charamoerde, a mod a olde, as rene snauw mach as, de han mach sen jaster beg. Now this is perhaps a little unseasonal, since it actually refers to the first sunset of the new year, but it looks forward to spring. That's amongst the words, looking forward to the springtime. And this is Cornish singer Martha Woods, and it's a song that she wrote herself, and I think she put it into Cornish with the help of Elizabeth. Now what's Elizabeth's? She was Elizabeth Stewart, and I can't remember her married name. But anyway, it was with Elizabeth's help that Martha put it into Cornish. And so this is the Cornish translation of her song, and it's called Commol po Enesso, Clouds or Islands. And that's Cornish song from Martha Woods asking what's there on the horizon, pith is enna war and warwell, and the answer is Comol Poenesso, clouds or islands. Hai a sian fod agus a chael a silia a fod a holder, van a char a moerde, as dintje de an eri va furchten Eis rom a sian char a doort a mod a holder, gau criach, niem koen liat ons de argus, tammy smunjen acht. Now, the trials with the Manby mortar were preceded by a meeting of the Isle of Man District Association for the Preservation of Life from Shipwreck. But, says the Manx Rising Sun, previous to the meeting, the lifeboats were out in the bay, and we hope that the public will be gratified with an experiment of these boats during a heavy gale, which will at once prove their utility and give confidence to the men employed. As a send to Claare, Gael, Chitka Kyon, Chris Pearson is here with 2 hours of the best in chill-out music for your Sunday evening from 7 till 9. And then at 9, Judith Lay brings you her programme Sundown. Claare Gael closes with another duo from Ireland, 2 sisters from Dublin, Emer Niscoli on harp and Saoirse Niscoli on low whistle. And after hearing of the Kjolna Fibra, the music of the piper, surprisingly enough, we go on to Banish Misfortune. Shenne Geershaw, and so from Claare Gael, this is Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert de Carslag.
Old Bobby Bob.
Wishing you a very good night. Eve I'm a Cree Duts, as Duts my ban Manach share.